Great morning, you guys. Great morning, great morning, great morning. Come on in. Come on in. Something really is going on with my lighting. I'm trying to figure it out. I know many of you are asleep right now, and you'll catch this later. But I wanted to come on and share this with you while it was the raw reaction. Come on in. I'm going to share. So let me share. Those of you who are up. Great morning, great morning. I thought it was really interesting, the timing on this release. So y'all, I got my hair cut yesterday, and I got my two braids going. Oh, goodness. So do me a favor, go ahead and share this broadcast. I'm going to talk to you guys about some things related to this. Hey, Amber, how are you, gorgeous? Bright and early this morning. Good morning, gorgeous. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to be talking to you guys about my reaction to Kirk Franklin's Father's Day. Those of you who haven't watched that video yet, I encourage you to go watch it. It was a lot, and it brought up a lot of emotions for me. And I am, girl, you haven't been to bed yet. Listen. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Listen, Amber. I went to bed. I went to bed early, as a matter of fact, and I woke up early. And I've been up for a while. But I was scrolling on Facebook, and I saw, hold on one second. I was scrolling on Facebook, and I saw Larry Reed live talking about it. And before I watched his video, I wanted to go and see it. And so that's what, yeah, girl, you sound like me. You sound like me. I went to bed like early. And so now I've just been up, just up. Okay. I wanted to come on and share this because, and I wanted to share it now, and it didn't have to be a lot of people, Amber. So if it's just me and you talking, girl, just hang out with your girl for a minute and let me talk to you about how I'm feeling right now. So Kirk Franklin recently released his Father's Day. I think he released it last night. It is a video detailing his journey as it relates to his life and his father. And one of the things that, this is a sensitive time for me, girl. Oh my God, Amber. Oh my God. Listen, this is a sensitive time for me because it was in September of 2021 when the man who raised me, that I always knew as my father, died in this month in 2021, and in fact on September 30th. So this month is full of birthdays. My two oldest boys' birthdays are this month, but also their and my granddaughter Madison's birthday is this month. Um, but there's also the fact that this is the month that I lost the man that I knew as daddy. Um, and when I watched the video, it took me back to my entire journey. And that's probably why I'm doing this now and not on my drive-by. As many of you may know or remember, in December of 2021, I did Ancestry DNA. And in January, I got the results. And the results indicated that there was a connection to some people that I did not know. And the people that I should have been double related to, I was not. And so I realized that my father was not my biological father. And there are a lot of emotions in that, in and of itself. I felt him. I felt Kirk. Yes, Amber. I felt Kirk when he was talking about at 53. Because for me, it was 55. At 55, I realized, I found out that the man that I'd always known as my daddy, the man that I had buried, well, not buried because we cremated him, but had a celebration of life for. He lived with us. I took care of him, which I regret not. Was not my biological father. So there are a lot of emotions that come with that when all of your life, this is what you've known, this is what you've believed. And even though there was I had some speculations, I had some questions. When I pursued them based on some things that, my mama said in passing, that person was not the father, right? But he was very gracious. He did the DNA test, we did all that. And it was those results that made my father say, see, I told you, I'm your daddy, right? So, to find out that he wasn't my biological father was a lot. And then even more was trying to figure out who was. I don't know if people understand the challenges that come with uncertainty in parenthood and parentage, like who your parents are. When you're uncertain about those things, there is just a certain identity struggle that you go through. And even though my daddy who raised me did his absolute best, the best that he could, as my mama did the best that she could, something was missing and I couldn't figure out what it was. I just knew something was missing, something felt off. And it wasn't, yes, yes, you're exactly right, Amber. It wasn't until I saw my daddy, my biological daddy. When I saw the man, I was like, when I saw my siblings, I was like, oh, uh, pieces of me that were missing became clear. And yet it's a very challenging process. I don't know any other way to say it, because everybody's lives get flipped upside down, and everybody, girl, yes. And everybody goes through the process differently, and they respond differently. And for me, I wanted, hey April, great morning, gorgeous. I wanted relationship immediately. Like, I dove in, but in diving in, there was still that desire for acceptance and approval. And um, it was kind of overwhelming to some of the family. But I'm grateful for my father's response. I'm grateful that my daddy received me the way he received me, because it absolutely changed my life. And it doesn't mean that my other daddy was not important, wasn't significant, didn't do what he was supposed to do. He did everything he could do. Like, there were just some things that he could not give me because he didn't have them. So as I'm watching Kirk's A Father's Day, I'm sitting there and I'm crying, because I don't think people really get how important it is to know who your parents are, and to have that conclusion, right? So when we got to the part where Kirk was talking to his mama about the man being his daddy, and she was like, oh no, there's no way he could be your daddy. I just remember having some conversations with my mama about who my daddy was, which were challenging for her, because in her mind, my daddy who raised me was my daddy. Like, that's it. And the struggle of trying to figure out, well, if it's not him, like, who is it? Because it was attached to a traumatic time in her life, and some traumatic experiences of her life. And now she's got to go back and revisit and relive. And there's the embarrassment. And so I feel like for Kirk's mama, a big part of why she couldn't accept the paternity test was that in her mind there was no way that he was the father. Now listen, I don't know what happened when they were together, but in her mind there was no way. But here Kirk is growing up in lack and in poverty, and his biological father was not a broke man. But Kirk went through all those struggles and struggles with his identity, and the man Kirk looked like the man. They about the same height. Their ears stick out. Like, I could see the combination of him and his mama producing Kirk. But the way he responded, was everything Kirk needed. The way he responded, the level of emotional intelligence that he showed, the way he opened up his arms and his heart to Kirk. It's a hard thing for a man to find out that he has a child that's grown, that he did not know about. This man had no idea that he could be Kirk's daddy. My daddy had no idea that I existed, that he could have a daughter, who was 55, and I'm his firstborn. I'm his first, I'm the seed of his youth. But he had no idea that I existed. And so there's a certain amount of weight that comes with that for that man, because he missed things. He missed moments that he knows that he would have been there for. He missed moments that he wished he could have been. You want to step in and you want to be those things and you want to fill those roles, but you're dealing now with grown people. I'm grateful for the way that God had ordered my steps, because I was in a place where I was starting over from scratch. And so I could go and just be with my daddy. And it was like I was in it was like I started from being a little girl to a teenager to an adult, to him walking me down the aisle and giving me away in marriage. And we got a chance to recapture some moments going car shopping. We got a chance to capture some moments that we missed when I was younger. But I'm thankful that God ordered my path the way he did and made my daddy the way he made my daddy, because I needed my daddy. So to watch this as we step into the new year, we're in a new year, 5784, year 5784 on the Jewish calendar, on the Hebrew calendar. And for me to see that this morning, for me to be up like this morning, in this first day of the new year. Thank you, April. It's amazing, especially because we're coming upon the anniversary of Daddy's death, which ironically this year is Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur. 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 Yom Kippur. Which is like we're in the high holy season. This is a high holy season. It's a very significant and powerful season. And I just believe that it's God's way of walking us through life. Well, Yom Kippur is the 24th, the evening of the 24th and the 25th. We're going into Sukkot. Yeah, we're going into Sukkot. That the evening of the 29th starts it, right? So as we step into the 30th, we're in Sukkot, which is another significant festival and feast. I guess I wanted to, good morning, Ruth. I wanted to come on because, well, two reasons. Rosh Hashanah is about celebrating the creation of Adam and Eve, the creation of humanity, the creation of life. And similarly, our parents create us. I'm grateful that Kirk finally got some answers. And I pray that his mother will allow her to accept something that she'd not imagined the way my mama did. And I know it took a lot, because in your mind, this is what it is. And then you find out that it's something different. So it's a lot on mamas who don't know, and where there is uncertainty. I encourage you guys, if you've not done Ancestry DNA, to do it for a number of reasons. Because one, for you, so that you can be connected to family, right? It's going to show you family that you don't know that you are biologically connected to, right? It can solve mysteries. It also can unveil some ugly truths. But I'm a firm believer in you need to know. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that parentage should be a known quantity. And if there is any doubt or any speculation, that you need to resolve it, because it just creates peace. Now, it may not be peace in the beginning, but you know. Now you know. So for me, I needed that. I needed that. I didn't want any open ends. I wanted to know. Even though that's not why I did Ancestry DNA, I did it because I wanted to know who my people were in Africa. Like, where did I come from? Like, who are my people? So when I go to Africa, I can be like, oh, y'all my people, right? But in the midst of that, I found out, I found my daddy. I found the one who created me. And it has been one of the most amazing experiences of my entire life. His presence in my life has drastically transformed my life, and it has allowed me to heal in areas and ways that I desperately needed to heal. So for me, watching Kirk Franklin's A Father's Day brought back all of those memories. And I'm so grateful for my daddy. And I'm so grateful for how God speaks to him. This year, I went home for my mama's birthday, and we were giving her a party. And my daddy drove from North Carolina to tell her thank you. It was the first time since they conceived me that they'd seen each other. And just how he honored her, it blessed me, because he didn't have to. But it meant so much to me. The fact that he wanted me to have his name meant so much to me. All of my life, I'd never had a father on my birth certificate. And he made sure that I had a father on my birth certificate, and it changed my name. It changed my identity. And I don't think we understand how significant those things are to be fully claimed. To know that we know that we know, versus wondering, guessing, speculating. And so I'm grateful. I'm beyond grateful for how God has expanded my life with my father, with my family, I'm grateful for the relationships that I'm building with my siblings. I'm grateful for um, the way that he is moving. And I'm grateful for the doors that it opens for healing. I feel like my presence created an opportunity for my family to bond in a different way and for healing to occur in relationships and for my siblings to really kind of come together in ways that they just normally didn't for whatever reason, because of distance, not because anybody was mad at anybody, but just distance and not being intertwined necessarily in each other's lives like that. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to build those relationships. Um, and it wasn't all easy, and it's not all easy, but life is not all easy. And I think that's the thing, you know, we want life to just be clean cut and clear, but it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it's messy, and we don't want to deal with the messy, but the messy is important. Listen, do you not know that our lives can be a wonderful, amazing, incredible, beautiful mess? Just because it's not picture perfect, just because it doesn't look like a textbook, doesn't mean that it's not valuable. So I want to encourage you in this new year to allow yourself to deal with the beautiful mess that is your life. Right, Corey. Which I'm glad you said that, because let me do this now, because I've been saying that I was going to do this and I have not done this. And I don't remember if I reached out to her or not, but I told you I was. And so I want to make sure that I do that today. And I'm going to create a message with the two of you. Um, yeah, y'all just bear with me for a second while I do this, because I believe, Corey, I believe that you're going to get your answers. I believe you're going to get your answers. And so I'm going to connect you and Lori now. um, okay, so I just did that. If you've not watched Kirk Franklin's A Father's Day, go on YouTube and watch it. It's powerful, it's moving, it's thought provoking, it's emotional, it's all of those things. And all this happened in the middle of him doing his new album. Um, but you get to see him talk to his son. Like, it's a lot in it. It's a lot in it, but it's necessary. It's a beautiful mess. It's a beautiful mess. And I just know this. I know that God is a God of healing. God is a God who desires to he desires to bring the pieces together of our lives and to heal our families. And fathers are important. Can't get around it. Fathers are important. Mothers are important. And our relationships with them are important. The greatest relationship is our relationship with our Daddy God. And as we walk that relationship out, it can fill the void of those other relationships. But I just know God is a God of healing and reconciliation. And that's necessary in our lives. Look, I'll be back for the drive-by at 6:30. And then, of course, we have our Sabbath, this year's, a New Year's worship service at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, and at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. And I look forward to seeing you all then. I just wanted to share my thoughts and my feelings on that, and to remind you that God is still on the throne, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. God has a plan for your life, and he already has dates set for things to happen. And so I'm excited that Kirk's date for finding out who his father was came, and that he was able to experience that. I think we're going to see another version of him after this. And I think it's going to help a lot of people and bless a lot of people. His process, as well as his process of becoming who God originally intended him to be. Just as our process of becoming who God originally intended us to be. Well, listen, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Thank you all for being up with me and allowing me to share my heart with you this morning. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic today. I love you guys. Mwah.